Those of you who are following my case will know that it's all about academic freedom, and particularly what happens when academics attack it and universities fail to protect it. Now, academic freedom is not the same thing as freedom of speech, even though they're very close cousins. Academic freedom is when professional knowledge producers, academics such as myself, are enabled to question and test received wisdom, to put forward new ideas which may be unpopular or controversial, and to do so without risking harassment, which is unlawful, calls for discrimination, which are unlawful, or indeed risking one's job. Academics are not activists, although some of us do engage in political activism. What we are trained, credentialized, professional knowledge producers. We do research, i.e., we produce the knowledge, but we also work to attract PhD students so that we can bring on the next generation of academics. We work to bring in grants so that we can support our research work. We also work towards something called impact, which is helping our expertise and our research make a beneficial impact to the societies in which we live. Now, it was precisely that idea that was behind setting up the Open University Gender Critical Research Network. The network was meant to be a hub to build research capacity at the Open University, to be a center of excellence, if you like, that could bring together and support academics who are gender critical, but also to support the work of external organizations who required that expertise. So we fast forward in time. I work for the University of Reading. I'd been there about not quite 18 months. I don't work in a climate of hostility towards gender critical academics. Working in a context where I no longer fear the reaction of my colleagues enabled me to do a piece of work with the Women's Rights Network called When We Are at Our Most Vulnerable. This piece of work is about sexual assaults and rapes in hospitals, and I think it's actually a very important piece of work. But the reason I'm so proud of it is very, very simple. It looks like this report is going to make a huge impact, change things in hospitals to better protect patients, perhaps staff, from sexual violence. So that's a very important report. But, and I hate to say this, 2 years ago, I don't know that I would have had the courage to lend my expertise to the Women's Rights Network. I would have feared what sort of wave of harassment would have come from my colleagues, because the Women's Rights Network, in defending sex-based rights, would have been branded transphobic. So let's wrap all of this up. Why does academic freedom matter? Because if we don't have it, people can find themselves on the wrong end of a political orthodoxy. Those who find themselves on the wrong end of the political orthodoxy are stopped from producing their research. When they can't produce the research, the vital social changes that may flow from that research are blocked, stopped, or just simply never appear. That's why academic freedom matters.